What's going on there, YouTube? Be working on the HHR today, and we're gonna be doing brakes. Gonna be doing both the front and the rear. We'll be replacing the pads and rotors and putting some new shoes in the back. You see, I've got all my parts and tools already laid out. Now, what I like to do is just go ahead and turn my wheel out. Just gives you better access to your bolts and everything that you're going to need. Alright, so first step, if you're doing your pads and that, you need a C-clamp. What we're going to do is we need to hook it right in here on the actual brake pad itself. And then we're going to clip it here onto the back of the caliper. Don't get right here on your brake line. Then what we're going to do is just slowly turn this. What we're doing is compressing the cylinder in there, the piston. Disc brakes are self-adjusting. As the pads wear, it makes up for it. So what you need to do is push this piston all the way back in to make room for your new pads. In other words, if you just pull this caliper off, you'll never get the new pads in. As you can see, if you can watch, this is what they call a floating caliper. So when you push the piston here, it pushes in on this side of the rotor and it pulls this side in to your pads. So now you can kind of see, as I'm pushing, it's bringing the whole caliper over that way. That feels about good. Don't forget, you want to do this slowly too, because you're pushing brake fluid back into that master cylinder. So you don't want to run into a problem of pushing too fast and pushing all that stuff up. Alright, so we've got a 15mm. I'll go ahead and remove this caliper. There's one thing I forgot to mention. What you should have is a bungee cord or coat hang, something that you can hang this caliper on, because you do not want to let it be suspended from this brake line. And also, while you're doing this, if you haven't done prior to, this is a good time to check your brake line. Make sure all this rubber is good, it's not dry rotting and coming apart, and you don't have any frayed metal coming out. Also, whenever you're doing stuff like this and you got a good opportunity, check like this your CV joint boots. Make sure there's no cracks, no openings in that, because you don't want dirt getting in there killing stuff. And then it's a good time too, take a look at your strut while you got the tire off. Make sure you don't have any oil and stuff seeping down. Make sure it all looks good. Just give your car a general look anytime you can. Put your rack and pinion boot up in here. Give your car a good check. So just like that, just tie up your caliper so you're not putting all that weight on there. And then here's your pads. They just slide out real easy. So if you're just doing your pads, this is where you would replace your hardware now. These pieces just come out. I'd recommend getting new ones. If not, cleaning this. This is because what that pad's actually slide in and out in. There's one up there, down there, and there's one up here. And just say if these were new pads, you just put them back. Now you should have, which mine don't, because I forgot to put them on, a little metal tab. It should stick out. Like here. That's your wear indicator. That'll start rubbing on the rotor to let you know that your pads are getting a little too warm. So now if you can continue on to your rotor, we need to take these two bolts off here to get this brake caliper bracket out of the rotor. Now those things are torqued for the standard system to 85 foot-pounds, and that's a lot of pressure. They are a little bit hard to get out, so make sure you have a pretty good sized wrench. Break those free. There you have it. Take that piece off, and now your rotor just slide right on off. So if you're putting it back together, you know, just the opposite. Oh, come on, line up. You're on video. You know, slide your new rotor on. Go ahead and restore your bracket. Put your bolt back in. Like so. Man, the bugs are out today. It's nice and warm. I said, now check your pads. You can kind of see how they're rounded. That wants to match the curvature of your rotor. Okay, you really can't put these in backwards. You know, the pad's going this way, but I said curve just like the rotor. Drop that ear in, drop that ear in, like that. Then go ahead and put on your caliper. Tighten those bolts. And you're done. Now before you proceed to the other side, or if you're done, make sure you push the brake pedal to push that fluid back down into the system, because if you leave this one pushed in and then you do the other one at the same time, you do stand a good chance of overflowing your master cylinder reservoir. Plus, you do not want to drive the car until you've actually pushed that brake a couple of times. Got the calipers to come back in, because you don't want to go put it in drive, or if you got a stick, put it in gear and go down the road, and the first time you hit the brakes, they will just drop to the ground. So very, very important. Once you do any of this, squeeze the brakes, pump those brakes a couple times before you drive the car. So that's it right there for doing the brakes. That is real simple and easy. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and move on to removing this and putting in the big Brembos. So hopefully this quick little guide helped anybody. Like, shares, and subscriptions definitely appreciated. Trying to grow my channel and help everybody out that owns these great little cars. Plus, you know, you could use this on any car really. Most cars use the same, very same setup. So this part here isn't unique to the HHR at all, unless you're dealing with the Brembos, and that is a little bit different thing, which I'm about to get into. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. We'll catch you on the Brembo install.